This week at NASA.
And now you're seeing the landing.
The 3 crew members of Expedition 21 made a safe landing in a Soyuz spacecraft after departing the International Space Station several hours earlier. Commander Roman Romanenko, the European Space Agency's Frank Davina, and Bob Thirsk of the Canadian Space Agency were met on the barren steppes of Kazakhstan by members of the Russian Search and Recovery Forces and a contingent of NASA, ESA, and CSA support personnel. They were reunited with their families and dignitaries near Star City, Russia. Romanenko, Davina, and Thirsk spent 186 days aboard the station.
It is my honor and pleasure to give this Ambassador of Exploration Award to Fred W. Hayes, Jr.
NASA Administrator Charlie Bolden presented Apollo 13 astronaut Fred Hayes, Jr. with NASA's Ambassador of Exploration Award during a special ceremony in Biloxi, Mississippi, Hayes' hometown. The award, a moon rock encased in lucite, is part of the 842 pounds of lunar samples collected during 6 Apollo expeditions from 1969 to 1972.
But it is his service as lunar module pilot for the Apollo 13 mission that most of us know Fred. Made famous by movies and books, the historic Apollo 13 mission was as dramatic as any Hollywood production.
Hayes said the award symbolizes the work of thousands.
When you see this rock, you see it as a symbol of the effort made by a lot of people. In fact, at the peak of the program, there were over 400,000 people on the NASA team that enabled us to enjoy the successes we had.
Hey, Houston, we've had a problem here.
Hayes was the lunar module pilot on Apollo 13. An explosion forced him and crewmates Jim Lovell and Jack Swigert to convert their lunar module Aquarius into an effective lifeboat. A dedicated support team at the Johnson Space Center in Houston helped find enough electrical power on board to ensure their survival and safe return to Earth. Hayes went on to command approach and landing test flights critical to the development of the space shuttle. He's entrusting the safekeeping of the award to his old grade school, Gorenflow Elementary, where it'll remain on public display. 37 years ago, the Apollo 17 mission began with this early morning launch from the Kennedy Space Center. The trio of Commander Gene Cernan, Jack Schmitt, and Ron Evans made up the crew of what would be the final Apollo mission to the moon.
There is orange soil. Well, don't move it till I see it. I can see it from here. It's orange.
As Evans orbited above in the command module, Cernan and Schmitt made 3 moonwalks. Schmitt was the first trained scientist to set foot on the lunar surface. Cernan is the last human to have done so. NASA's revolutionary Kepler Space Telescope has been honored by 2 leading magazines. Popular Science magazine dubbed the planet-hunting telescope with the 2009 Best of What's New Grand Award, and Popular Mechanics lauded its achievement with a 2009 Breakthrough Award. Kepler will detect Earth-like planets circling sun-like stars outside our solar system with the potential to sustain life. The telescope will observe some 100,000 stars in our region of the Milky Way. Popular Science also honored NASA's new moon mapping mission, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, and the Orion Launch Abort System, with Best of What's New awards in the category of aviation and space. NASA's Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer is on track to begin its mission this week. WISE is scheduled to lift off from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California aboard a Delta II rocket. WISE will map the universe with its hypersensitive infrared cameras to reveal new objects big and small. Ned Wright is WISE's principal investigator.
We'll be taking a picture every 11 seconds. And so that means that in the 6 months it takes to cover the sky, we're going to be taking about 1.5 million images. We'll stitch them together to make an image atlas of the entire sky and figure out, what objects are on there and make a catalog.
For the latest information on the WISE launch, visit www.nasa.gov/WISE. And that's This Week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, log on to www.nasa.gov.